weight, but the power has to stay.
Yeah, so 86 was weighing me down back then. So I decided to come to 76, lose 10 kgs with the help of my coach, Boneface from Hope Gym. He helped me a lot reduce that weight to a place where I'm now fast, comfortable, and now I can move around the ring. Yeah, it's more manageable.
Coach, what's that transition point for somebody who wants to go down? Because he basically went down 2 divisions.
Yeah, there's things that you need to consider, because a transition like that needs some time. It needs time, because when you do it too quick, the boxer will have the fatigue and lose power. And for truth be said, they'll not have the gas to go the distance in the bout. So it needs, it takes a lot of time to, because it's gradual, and a lot of conditioning to go with it. Yeah. So
just tell us, I mean, how you would, how long did it take you to lose the 10 kgs?
It took me almost 6 months, yeah.
6 months?
Yes.
Which means then you're out of competition throughout.
Yeah.
So this transition, such that you make sure that you still have the gas, what are the things that you do, including the diet?
There's sessions where you purely deal with strength and conditioning. Now, as coaches, we give maybe 20 to 25%, because that's what can be done in the gym. But for endurance, the boxer has to do a lot of road work, which we don't normally accompany them. We just advise for them to do twice a week, 1 short and 1 long. And that would work, because when you do that, it shakes down the weight. When we come to the strength and conditioning exercises in the gym, then the weight starts getting to its place. Yeah.
Okay. Dalmas, kuje kwako tuambie hiyo maneno yako. I know the language you use, tunaenda kuchapa rodi. Those long runs. Tupatie tu siku moja yako ya mazoezi kama boxer sasa, professional boxer.
Kama mimi professional boxer, asubuhi nikiamka napiga long road work.
Kilomita kama ngapi hivi?
Peka kama 4 hivi. Naingia zoezi, naingia prison na train asubuhi. Kuanzia saa 2 hadi saa 5. Naenda na rest kidogo. Saa 8 ndio naingia gym. Yeah.
Tueleze sasa, umesema prisons, unafanyia prisons?
Yeah, asubuhi. Morning.
Prisons wapi?
Which prison? Pale Kaloleni.
Kaloleni.
Yeah. Wana trainiaga hapo. Nendaga na train na wao asubuhi. Yeah, shadow boxing kidogo, school boxing hapo kidogo. Yeah.
Gym work. Hebu tueleze, umeshakimbia, umeongea kuhusu ya maneno ya gym. Tueleze kuhusu hiyo gym, about keeping your weight. Sababu sasa division yako nikiangalia featherweight hapo sasa already umeshaongeza kilo kama 6 kutoka fly, si ndio?
Yeah.
So around 57 kg. Tuambie ndio uweze ku maintain hiyo.
Back then nilikuwa nacheza bantam. Yeah. Nikakuja nikaona hiyo bantam pia kukata hiyo weight, ku maintain hapo hiyo bantam ni ngumu kidogo. Napata ndio nichezeo bantam lazima nikate weight. Na nikifika pale kwa ring napata sina hiyo power. Yeah, katika nimekata hiyo weight sana. Nikakuja nikaona acha nipande hapo juu kidogo fedha. Hapo juu sana niko sawa, na maintain vizuri sana. Yeah, kuna hiyo power.
Ndio ukwe nayo na speed pia uko nayo.
Yeah, na speed pia niko nayo.
Well, and but if you want to fully understand, what he's talking about, the bantamweight division, it's up to about 53.5 kilos, and when you talk about the featherweight division, you're moving up to around 57.2 kgs. Now, and coach, this is what I'd like you to bring in. What's that little difference, especially in these lower weight classes?
Yeah.
Where Chalo is, because these people, I mean, we see them fight and they're fast.
Yeah.
They are very, very fast, but 2 kgs makes a whole difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, at times, we have to make a balance. You have to know your boxer well. When this reduction in weight, there's going to be some loss in power. And you put in the speed, because you know power is transient. Power is transient. On a good day, you'll have power. On a bad day, it will not work for you. But the speed, I think that's the game breaker in the lower weight categories. If you're able to take your chances faster, move faster, execute faster, think faster, move faster, then you'll be a complete boxer in the lower weight categories. That's maybe light welter going down. But speed, I think that applies across the board. Even if you look at the cruiserweights internationally, they are quite fast. They're quite fast. So as coaches, we've had that challenge of trying to bridge the gap, because we are not preparing our boxers only for local bouts. We want them to go internationals. We want them to go. And I've seen Kogelok box. He's got the speed. He's got the depth. I know he'll go places. I think that these two boxers are promising. They'll go places. They've got time on their side. They've got the skill on their side. It's just a little sharpening, more marketing from the mainstream, and I think that they'll go places.
Okay, let me come to you, Kogeluk. Just take me through a normal day for you, whenever you are training.
A normal day for me in camp starts like this. I do my road work, and by 6, I'm at the gym.
How much? What's the distance you run? Because I know there are those who do 10 kilometers. I mean, he's got a Muhammad Ali. Ali used to do crazy distances. Muhammad Ali, t-shirt on, but he would do 15 Ks in very terrible conditions.
So I'm a Kale, but I consider myself a very lazy runner. So I only do 5 kilometers, 6 kilometers as I head to the gym. I mix it with some sprints, and then I go to the gym. So at the gym, you do from 6 to 9, that's almost 3 hours, doing some bag work and some light cardio. Then I go rest, come back at 12 to 3, go rest, come back at 6 to around 8. Yeah, so I have 3 sessions in a day.
Okay, and one of the things that I've always seen with boxers is the love for the skipping rope. Coach, just give us the insights about how people got into, the skipping rope.
Skipping rope is one of the best exercises in the gym, because it goes across the board. You work your shoulders, you work your abs, you work your legs at the same time. Skipping rope helps in agility, it helps in the footwork, it helps in gas, it helps in a lot. It's more aerobical. So, the sport of boxing, aerobics is a very big part of the sport of boxing, because you have to give punches in tight angles, look for punches from weird positions, yeah? I think that the skipping rope does them a lot of help in the sport of boxing, yeah.
Okay. Sam, let's talk about another aspect of boxing that I always see is how you weave and bob. Na pia Dalmas utatuambia, such that you are uko na hiyo movement, you can avoid the punches. I remember watching I think it was a Fatuma Zarika fight where her opponent, actually the punches went slow down. She threw 18 punches, none landed, and all that she was doing was weave and bob. Just tell us about how you go around that.
So it requires a lot of training to miss those punches. As you've heard people say, boxing is a sport where you should hit and not get hit. So we try and minimize the damage as much as possible. We have to train it. We have to train the slips, the rolls, and everything, so that we apply it in the ring.
And Chalo, hebu tuambie hiyo training wakati uliingia boxing. So women's a novice, intermediate, so you have gone through that and you've seen how people try and get land those punches.
Yeah, kama venye best yangu hapa amesema, kujituma tu, lakini mambo na footwork hapo kidogo nini, kwa wingi hapo, skipping, jumping bado, yeah.
Na tuambie vizuri Chalo,
yeah.
Sasa kuhepa hizi movement ambazo mwenzako ambaye makonde anafika, lakini lazima sasa unajua nataka ifike hapa kwenye shavu ndio uende pale, kwa lugha yenu mnasema wanataka ulewe.
Jo.
Wanataka ulewe apate KO. Lakini tuelezee ili kuepuka haya makonde.
Kwa boxing mtu utaka sana, lazima utake kuituja amano, usitake kuchape. Yeah. Lazima utake umsome movement yake, umsome hii punch akitaka kuirusha. Yeah. Lazima tu uko msharp, una think fast. Unamsoma tu yani, bado utaki hasira. Ukiwa na hasira pia ni rahisi sana kupatikana. Yeah. Utaka una relax. Unasoma jamaa. Unaona movement yake. Yeah.
Well, Mufasa, Sam, Mufasa, that's his nickname. But where did that name come from?
It came from Lion King. I admired his character and I decided to pick it up.
So you gave yourself that?
I gave myself that, but most people in the gym call me the boogeyman. I don't know why.
That's got everything to do with dancing. Now, Dalmas,
yeah.
Nickname uchapata. Nijua coach wako alikuwa anaitwa the silent killer. Kilo. Ujapata.
Bado sijapata.
Every boxer I know, I mean, at pro level, everyone seems to have a nickname that comes in. And this is where, like, coach, when you're taking them through these paces, we always see, for example, when you're trying to get them strike the pads, and we see you,
yeah,
swing your arms around. Just take us through that motion. You can actually demonstrate it.
Yeah. When you training the boxer for head movement and all different types of movement, you present a target which looks easy. Then you have a challenging hand. So he has to take and not be caught. So you can tell him jab rock, you jab and swipe at him. Jab duck, he jab and let him roll under, and then he hits the target again. Jab duck, jab, he hits, you go for him, he comes back in with the second attack. Now that helps with their reflex. You have to do it frequently. Even in open pad work, when his guard is low, you have to give an offensive attack at him, because to move him out of the comfort zone. Yeah, those drills are good and have helped a lot of boxers. And you see that the more you work with your boxer, the more he'll be stylish and make a brand out of himself in that front.
And actually, this the thing about style, and this is where and actually there is a demonstration that we can already see, and we know this is from
police depot.
Police depot. So actually, now you can actually coach. You can actually now take us through that. Giving an analysis so that anybody who goes to watch a fight can see where the coach has been.
Yeah.
Has been doing the boxer.
Yeah. Now, you're seeing that he's trying to help the boxer, who I believe is Christian, Hungary, give four punch with a hook, 4-punch combinations, 3-punch combinations and 4-punch combinations, mixing them up. Yeah. Okay. A right, left, right, and a 4-punch combination. Yeah.
Aya, Chalo, sparring sessions zako hebu tuelezee. Because sasa hapa tunaona pia kuna moja hapa. Because hapo sasa ndio unazoea.
Yeah. Sparring sasa kama sasa hivi tunacheza professional pro boxing. Sparring unafaa kunazipiga kwa wingi sana. Yeah.
Kama kwa wiki moja unafaa kunapiga session kama ngapi hivi?
Kwa wiki ni mob sana.
Kwa sababu sasa hiyo ni session yako ya jioni.
Yes, session ya jioni. Yes, asubuhi. Session ya jioni. Like tuseme kila siku tu. lazima sparring. Yeah. Daily.
Na ukiangalia unaspa na bondia wa uzani upi? Which weight unaangalia? Kwa sababu sasa wewe tunaona kwa saa hii umeenda feather.
Yeah.
Unatumia mtu ambaye ako light weight ama unatumia mtu ako bantam?
Bantam, lightweight, iko tu sawa. Anyone. Mimi nasemaga mtu yote ule na gain kwake na pia na gain kwangu. Anyone ule.
Lakini nikakuuliza nani una prefer? Kwa sababu mtu wa lightweight uzani ni mzito.
Yeah, uzani ni mzito pale.
Ako mbele yako na about 4 kilos.
Yeah.
Na pia unajua speed yake almost same pale.
Kwa bantam nasaidia na speed, ku counter punches, nini. Kuja hapa kwa lightweight inakusaidia kutake punch. Unazoea kutake punch. Unapata ukipatana na weight yako hapa hivi umezoea. Yeah. Umezoea kutake hiyo punch, unapata haitakudhuru vile sana. Yeah.
Okay. Sawa. Sam, let me come to you now and let's talk about your division, the super middleweight division.
Yes.
Who are you training with? Because I think for the last 10 or so years it's been the super division, basically sold by Canelo.
By Canelo, yes.
Saul Alvarez.
Yeah.
He's sold that division alone, but it's. And I think also there was Triple G, Gennady Golovkin.
Triple G also there.
Yes. So they were there and they would say, whenever they fight with somebody, they would say, this is not a middleweight. But here it is, we're talking about 73 kg people, but here you are dealing 76.
Yeah. Okay, so when I turned pro, my message was quite simple. I've come to take over. I'm not here to take part, I'm here to take over. That is my main message to the pro in middleweight, and I can play super middle and I can also play in the middleweight division. Yeah, so for my sparring, I spar with super heavies from 92 and above, heavyweights, and people who are at 69. Yeah, right there. Anything below that, it becomes a bit of bullying.
Okay, 69, and because this is, coach, they say middleweight is where there's a pure transition of power and speed.
Yes.
And why is that?
I think that I look at it from the perspective that many guys who are in the middleweight have tried the higher weights, so they've had that power and adjusted the weight. So you'll find a lot of heat in that weight category. That weight category has got a lot of heat. Yeah, and I think that the nature of the middleweights from time immemorial, they've always been big punchers. So anybody going into that weight prepares themselves adequately for that action.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for you, why are you looking at the 69 kgs? They would be known as what, the super welters?
Yeah, super welters, because I admire their speed. So it's good to spar with them because of they're quite fast, they're quite agile. So it helps me also with my reflex. Yeah.
Now looking at your experiences now, having fought in the upper divisions as a cruiserweight, now as a middleweight, how has that, because you mentioned about the speed and that, what's the competition like locally in the pro scene?
In the pro scene, there's a lot of competition because most people at the moment are transitioning from the amateurs and coming into the pros. So I consider amateur to be quite intense because the number of punches there is a lot. So people who have a name in the amateur and come to the pro, it's going to be a tough fight. Yeah, that's how I see it.
By the way, there's something he's mentioned because of the number of punches. Na pia wewe umepiga ulisema mcheza novices na intermediate. It's 3 days na kila siku ni pigano na ni brutal.
Yeah.
How do you help them transition? Because in pro boxing, it's a minimum of 4 rounds. For somebody like him who's been doing 3 intense, how do you help them adjust?
Yeah, good question. You know, when you look at it, these two things, the pros and amateurs, they're both boxing. But look at it for the layman to understand it. The amateur is a sprint. The pros is a marathon. So it's like you build the mental muscle to go the distance. Because, you know, in amateurs, it's a sprint. You hit a lot, but it's just 3 rounds. It's 2 rounds. But you know that with the pros, your maiden should be 4 rounds. Then you'll transit to 6 rounders, to 8 rounders, and then 10 rounds and 12 rounds when you're going for world champions. Now, I think that you have to build the muscle, both physically and mental. That's what we do. And you see, like, if we were to be doing sparring sessions for someone like Dalmas, I'll require him to go for 4 or 5 rounds with different boxers without changing. Those other guys, one will come and go, one will come and go, but I'll keep him as a constant. It helps him get the endurance and have the shifting gears with every different opponent. Yeah.
Dalmas, umefanya novice, umefanya intermediate, ukaenda pro. Alafu ndio unakumbuka kuna raundi ya 4. Fight ya kwanza ulijitayarishaje?
Ya pro. Fight ya kwanza ya pro
ndio uweze kupiga 4 rounds.
Yeah, ndio uweze kupiga 4 rounds.
Unajua akili 3 unasema hii ni 3 kusonga.
Kitu nilikuwa najambia tu, yani ni kutafutia gas kwa wingi. Road work more. Yeah, kukimbia tu sana. Long distance kwanza sana. On Saturdays, yeah. Yeah.
Sasa Saturday unapiga kilomita ngapi hiyo umesema?
Kuna kutoka hapa hadi Kabete.
Kabete, sio Lower Kabete.
Yeah. Unamaliza unapita Lower Kabete unaenda.
That is a distance.
Yeah.
Ndio ni kukimbia asubuhi.
Hiyo ni kukimbia asubuhi, morning. 4. Naamka 4. Mnapatana na maboxer wenzako. Mnaenda kwa hiyo masaa pia huwezi enda peke yako pia. Kama masaa pia tunaoma. Yeah.
Sawa. Okay, now your transition, you've been an intermediate champion, Sam, and here you transition to the pro scene. What was the mental style that you tried to use to ensure that you got to where you are? You know, here you are at Charter Hall, 3 rounds finished. But this is the first time and you've got to go 4.
So I had to improve on everything I did. I had to change everything I did, because considering it's now not the amateurs, I have to be have a lot more gas. I have to have a lot more of technique, and also to learn how to maybe become relaxed, because in the amateurs it's short. And every punch is coming at you, but in the pro they're a bit relaxed, and such things, to become mentally ready, I had to prepare myself for that. Yeah.
Okay, so Tuesday next week, the Nairobi fight night, it's going to be there. Dalmas Charlo here is going to be fighting against Salim Mirongo, and this is in the featherweight division. Sam Kogaluk is going to be up against David Ojode. This is in the super middleweight division. Razia Afzal against Blessing Aching. It's a women's fight. Remember, the women's fights 2-minute rounds. For the men, it's 3 minutes. Then we've got another super middleweight fight, Zebediah Gogo and Rafael Nandwa. In the middleweight, Steve Olang and David Olwach. Victor Koyo against Marvin Achola, Josiah Kimanzi, and Victor Ndera in the lightweight. Coach, just looking at this card and some of the boxers that you've seen, how would you describe what will be in the Nairobi fight night next week?
I think it will be very competitive. All boxers will be present, need to do adequate preparations. There'll be fireworks. These matchups there there'll be fireworks. I promise fireworks, because from my understanding of boxing and the names you've named, I know it's going to be very interesting. Yeah.
Okay. When you're preparing for fights, and I want each one of you to do it. For example, Dalmas, you're going to fight against Salim Mirongo. How do you study your opponent? Let me start with you, Coach. How you go look if you want to find out about Salim?
Yeah. I can maybe watch 3, 4, 5 previous matches, look at what he lacks, and try to capitalize on that as a game plan. Have your own plan, but have the contingency plans if he may have adjusted that. As a coach, we help boxers to mirror what they are up against, then help them plan and try to be at the ringside to help them execute.
Haya.
Yeah.
Kusoma opponent wako kama unajua sahi unajua ni Stanley Mirongo.
Yeah,
Kumsoma unamsoma aje ama unatuma jamaa kwa gym yake akachungulia?
Pana. Ni kuangalia tu mafight zake. Kama sasa Stanley Mirongo unasikia ndo anaanza pro. Ni kuangalia ma previous fight zake za amateur, venye yako nini venye anapiga zoezi. Ama pia naweza mtembelea huko nijue venye yako. Kabla hiyo siku ya fight ijafika. Yeah.
Okay. Now, Sam, you're fighting against David Ojode. How do you study your opponent?
So most of the time the same venye kila mtu anafanya. I watch the videos, but most of the work huwa naachia coach. I just concentrate on training. Coach ataenda analyze mistakes zenye, because coaches have an eye for boxing than the players. So yeye ataona mistakes zenye mimi maybe singeona, and then kwa gym we come and work on those things and perfect it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, and by the way, what goes on at the corner? Because you'll be there. I mean, there is a crowd. It's noisy.
Yeah.
But you have to keep giving instructions as the seconders. Just what goes on in that corner?
At the corner, you know, it's strange that we are not even seeing what the crowd is seeing. We have a different lens at the corner. We've got concentration on every move, every action and reaction from both boxers, and try to advise on undoings of the other boxer for your boxer to capitalize on that. And you know you're doing that in real time and at water breaks. So you have to be very attentive and record each and every event, punch taken, punch missed, failed footwork steps, negligence in defense, both from your boxer and the opponent. There's a lot that goes on at the corner. Yeah.
Okay, na huwa mnasikiaje? Unajua, I've done commentary and yes, I mean, obviously I'll be put at a neutral corner. But you'll hear, wake up, chunga. And what? How do you keep your eye on your opponent na bado unamsikiliza coach?
Kama boxer, ukiingia pale kwa ring, ni ngumu sana kusikiza watu wako nje. But the time ile kengele imepigwa, ukienda pale kutena kupea tu maji, ndio unamsikiza. But ukiwa ndani pale una box, ndio wanakuongelesha ndio, lakini kile yako iko huko. Na concentrate na ujamaa sana. Yeah.
Aye. Sam, yes. Ring management for you?
Ring management for me is basically the same. You have to concentrate on your opponent, because hii ndo kazi yako yenye iko hapa kwa saa hii. Anything else we try and minimize the crowd, and if I need advice from my coach, then I'll bring the fighter to my corner, nisikie kenye coach atasema.
Okay, coach. Finally, one more thing. I mean, I'm looking at the screen. Showboating boxers. Now, we know, for example, like I've said, Chalo akona shatapa ya Muhammad Ali. He was known at one point to do that. Look at Okothia. How do you manage some of these flamboyant characters? Because utenda kushowboat, somebody will just put out the lights.
You know, at times, the fear is real with the coach. At times, the boxer who is doing that may not be aware of the risk at hand. But I would like to advise boxers, let's always stay safe in the ring. You'll give us heart attacks. Some of us, we don't look our age, we are old. But you guys can give us heart attacks, because I do think that safety first. And I would always advise that there's always life after boxing. I would like to meet these gentlemen, these boxers, after 10, 20 years and be maybe on a show like this and talk about boxing again, when they're in their current state. Not that they go into fights, take too much risk, be extravagant, throw caution to the wind. I think that some boxers give us a hard time. As cornermen, it's not a comfortable thing to go to second a boxer like that. It's stress, because you'll be at the top of your voice. This somebody who you're responsible for and is throwing caution to the wind. Anything that may happen there, you stand to be blamed, because he wants to go all out, and you want to intervene. You've got only one way to wave it out, and you don't think that's something he'll tolerate. So you let it slide, but I think that I would advise against that. Let's not be too cocky. Let's play boxing.
Aye, very well. So, Chalo and Sam, nyinyi ndo mtafunga Tuesday. Ndo siku Tuesday nights. Ambia watu, ambia wa Kenya. Chalo versus Sali Mirongo.
Kwamba tu yani mafans watokea kwa wingi, wakuja waone nikifanya mambo hapo.
Sawa sawa. Najua ongei sana lakini tutaona kama Makonde ataongea. Sam, you will get the chance to give a closing word.
Yeah, so I give God the glory, and to my fans, make sure you get some popcorns because it will be interesting. To my haters, kujeni na handkerchief na tishu jumtalia. Yeah, stay strong.
All right, thank you very much. And it's two professional boxers, Samuel Luke, who also goes by the name Mufasa. We also have Dalmas Chalo and Coach Ibrahim Ondo, who have all given us, an insight into this pro boxing scene in the country, and also the Nairobi Fight Night scheduled for Tuesday next week in Westlands, 7 p.m. onwards is when they will be fighting. The two will be in action, so we'll get to find out the results next week. So we shall have their fight cards, their results, and we'll know if they really are ready to give us that show. Asanteni sana, gentlemen. We take a break, and right now we'll be giving you the highlight of Kenya Police Bullets FC against Trinity Starlets. This result gave the Kenya Police Bullets another FKF Women's Premier League title, and they will also be playing in the Sekafa Zone qualifiers for the Women's CAF, for the Women's Champions League for Africa. So let's get those highlights, and also the FKF Women's National Super League, Kayole Starlets against Soccer Assassins. And after that, let's talk about people who beat the waves.
It has been a hectic season, not as smooth as last season was, but we thank God that we are here. The girls have tried, they've pushed themselves. And I will say that I'm very happy because the Kenya Women Premier League is really gaining something, and we can see that the competition is getting tougher every day. That's why in this season you've seen that we've won it, but with a difference of only 2 points.
I like the words. I like the words kupatiana. Okay, what I can give is just a fair assessment. Yeah, what tumekuwa able kufanya in the past 3 months, because we came in February. And when we came in, of course, I'm sure you guys by now already know the story. So many girls left the camp. Then we had to pretty much start a new team. So it has not been easy, but there's been progression for sure in how we play, in terms of the style, personnel.
Back to myself, unajua pia Mungu kupea kitu umeomba. Nakumbuka season ikianza, we prayed much about kurudi kwa Premier League than kucheza hii playoffs. But playoffs imekam, ni kama zone B imekuwa very competitive. Ukiangalia Gideons, Trans Nzoia Falcons, hizo timu zote za zone B zimekuwa too hard for us. But kumalizana na zone B ni kama iliweka watu kwa zone ya kurelax.
Season yetu ilikuwa ngumu kidogo, but kitu imetusaidia ni that tulianza pre-season mapema. Tulibring in players wale tulikuwa tunataka watusaidie, na tulianza pre-season mapema sana, so I think pia imechangia, preparation ya mapema imechangia sana. Na pia players wale tulipata waliamua wanataka kuja kutusaidia kupandisha timu ligi, na shukrani sana kwa the whole team.
And welcome back to Sports Check on this Monday morning, the 26th day of May 2025. And yes, we are getting into our second conversation, and this is all about swimming. Kenya Aquatics is going to be hosting the national championships at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani. This is a 50-meter pool. It meets the standards, and this is towards qualification for the World Aquatics Championships that will be taking place in Singapore in August, the 27th of July to the 4th of August. And in studio joining us is the ESU Kenya Aquatics. On my immediate left, Collins Barigiri. Collins, karibu.
Asante sana, Wahome.
Thank you. Yes, and also we've got a member of the national swim team, Sarah Mose. Hi.
Yes, hello.
Hello and welcome. And also we've got Haniel Kudwali. Haniel, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Well, first of all, let's just look back at the last 6 months. I think the first big one, because you, Collins and Sarah, we can see that you already have it Budapest 2024. Just take us through the the Budapest event that was in December, because I know that set the tone for most of our athletes.
The Budapest event, actually both of them took place. Yeah? Sarah and Haniel were part of the team that is in Budapest. And from Budapest, I think we had one of the best results we've had so far as a national team. And we had all very national records broken. And these athletes actually got their personal best times. And that gives them a good platform in their pathway for LA 2028.
Well, let's talk about that. I'll come to you so that I just go through these results, Sarah. And national record in the freestyle 50, 100. The freestyle relay, there was a mixed 4. A national record also coming in through. Also the medley relay and the 4x1 medley relay, and a top record for that. Just take us through this event and what, and how it has changed, your approach to competitive swimming.
Yes, it was my first World Championships, so it was like a bigger international exposure. It was an amazing experience to be there with my team and everyone supporting me. It was a good step looking forward. I beat my PBs. We together, all of us, we did amazing performances. We beat Kenyan records, which is very motivating to hard work and improving.
Well, and looking at the championships, and this was a short course.
Yes.
Competition. How different is it from the 50-meter pool, like what we'll be having at Kasarani now?
Yeah, it's different because on short course the pool is shorter.
Yeah,
Definitely,
25,
yes, it's definitely shorter, and you have to focus on the underwater and the turns much more than on the 50 meters. And it's very interesting, yes, amazing, and it's really quick. It's much more quicker than on 50 meters long course. Many things are happening, going on the pool, underwater, amazing starts, and it's just very complex.
Haniel, let me come to you. The breaststroke, a national record in the 100, in the 50. Also, you were part of the relay team. Yeah, a national record also coming there, the mixed medley relay team, and also the mixed 4x1. Just take us through each of these events, because I noticed that individually at these championships you didn't go for the freestyle.
Oh yeah, so I mainly specialize in breaststroke, and that's what I went to do in Hungary. And I set out to do my PBs, and that's what I achieved, so it was a really exciting event. Then for the relays, we had a really qualified team of fast swimmers, and it showed in the national record being broken. So yeah, just really exciting team, really good team, and a good competition. Yeah.
How would you rate that competition? I mean, out there, after competing right in Hungary, and this was the short course swimming championships. How did you find those people of the world?
Yeah, I mean, it was really eye-opening. A lot of world records broken in this event, so it was really fast-paced, really high octane. So really high, eye-opening and motivating to reach the level that all these other people are competing at.
Collins, overall, looking at these national records broken, and for Kenya Aquatics, it was just after the Olympics, and it's the time that now we would say no more says we're getting back into it. What was the direction that you took, knowing that you've got the Worlds later in August?
As a national federation, after every major event, we have a calendar. This calendar, we have the world calendar, we have as well we have the continental calendar, and our also national calendar. There was actually no time to rest, because we know some of these major events are actually qualifiers for the Olympics. So because we have a pathway as the national federation, looking at the pathway, we got no time to rest. We all make sure that our athletes are on point and consistently training. Swimming, if you take a break, like they say, when you rest, you rust. Yeah? So if you take a break, even 1 month, actually 2 weeks, the athletes can feel it. So we have ensured that from the National Federation, we keep them on toes by supporting them and ensuring that they're taking part in all the major events. And for example, we did Africa Junior Championships, because we're looking at also having the younger ones coming in. We had an event in Egypt actually last month, and from all this, it's a matter of ensuring that all our athletes are up to, they're on point and they're up to the right standards, because of the competition is really stiff. When you look at the World Championship right now, it's a long course event, and that is why we had our national championship. We started our first event, we had it in February, and now we're also having this qualifier, which is a Singapore qualifier. It is one of the few events that has been sanctioned by World Aquatics to take place in the African soil, because the other continental event that a national event was South Africa. So after South Africa, Kenya has been very privileged to host this event, to have this event, which is a qualifier. So that's why we're expecting many other countries from we have 6 other countries coming in just to qualify for Singapore.
Oh yes, and by the way, when you mentioned about the countries expected, we've got Tanzania, Uganda, Malawi, Madagascar, Equatorial Guinea. Very, very interesting, because I'm just trying to see where they're coming from. And looking at the designation of Kasarani, I know South Africa may have that kind of pool. Zimbabwe, Egypt, Nigeria, Morocco, some of those. What are the checks that World Aquatics comes and does here to ensure that they can certify your pool, and the times set then do make sense?
Actually, myself, as I'm also a World Aquatics certified international official, and as a referee, as a judge, all officiating positions there. So there is a blueprint set by the World Aquatics where they come and ensure that we have to send these measurements and of our pool, the standards. You see, so we send the entire information of our pools, and done by a qualified surveyor, contracting the surveyor. So that person actually certifies, and then we send the information to World Aquatics for them to go through it and now certify themselves that this pool is of standard. So looking at Kenya, we have mentioned countries like South Africa, and some of the Northern African countries have 50 meters. And some of the countries that are coming in actually to take part in our event don't have a 50-meter pool. And we're really privileged, and we thank our government and the ministry for having such a facility. It's a wonderful facility, and we've traveled a number of countries around, and you see, everybody looks forward to come to such an event. And when you look at events like the qualifier right now in Singapore, you should have times from a 50-meter pool. That gives you an edge instead of converting your short course times into a long course time. But most of the time when you do the conversion, either the times become slower, so you might not actually meet the qualifying times, because when you convert them. So it's really good, because you're going to compete in a 50-meter pool to ensure that, as in time for your preparation, go swim in a 50-meter pool.
All right, so we'll be taking a short break, and we'll be taking a look at those conversions and how they're calculated, because you mentioned about it. The short course pools having a lot of intensity. And Haniel, you also tell us, because you are the South African Championships, so you would have a true feel of what the African scene is like. We'll be coming back, yes, with Haniel Wally. We also have got Sarah Mose and Collins Marigiri as they get ready for this weekend's National Swimming Championships. And this is part of qualification for the World Aquatics Swimming Championships slated for Singapore later this year. We'll be back in a short while.
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
Are you a talented artist, or are you passionate about a topic you want to discuss? But money can be very hard to find for an upcoming artist. Don't worry, Studio Mashinani has got your back. Sign up on ajira.co.ke to book a session with your music and video producers across the country. Work on your music, jingles, spoken words, and even podcasts to realize your dream. All for free. Studio Mashinani, Radani Talent.
And welcome back to Sports Check on this Monday morning. It is the 26th day of May 2025. Well, we're having a conversation, and this is around the National Swimming Championships. Team Kenya wants to have a contingent that will be going to Singapore, and this is where we're going to have the World Aquatics Championships that will be taking place from the 27th of July to the 4th of August. Qualifying and entry standards, they've all been set by World Aquatics, and we've got two swimmers who are looking to make sure that they get a place in that competition, and they will be at Kasarani from the 30th, that's Friday, running through to the 1st, that is Madaraka Day. So those over that period, there's going to be a lot of competition and see who makes the times. And remember that Kenya Aquatics will also be getting a visit from Tanzania, Uganda, Malawi, Madagascar, and Equatorial Guinea. Athletes will want to do that. In studio with me on my immediate left, Collins Marigire, who's the Secretary General, Kenya Aquatics, and also two members of the Kenya Aquatics team, Haniel Kudwoli and Sarah Mose. So let me come to you, Haniel, and I'm looking at the entry standards that are here, and also what people would say the conversion, or like what Collins mentioned about the conversion from the short course to the long course. Kasarani is here, and the entry standard, for example, for your 50-meter breaststroke would be the B standard would be 28:29, and just looking at your times, a national record 28:27 from the short course. But what's the risk of the conversion here?
Right, so as Saramo said, short course is faster than long course because you have more underwaters, which is overall faster, so you will have faster times in short course. So when you're converting from short course to long course, you would add a couple of seconds depending on the distance you're doing. So most people tend to try to go for long course instead of doing the conversion because that extra second can be detrimental to try to qualify for an event.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the conversion, so for you, are you comfortable with the with the 28:27 from the short course? If you were to convert it, how many seconds would you lose on?
I would add an extra second, so that would be 29:27, I think.
Yes, 29:27. Yeah. The entry standards simply says, where is it disappeared? For the 50 meter, I mean, it's quite fast, 25:99:26. So working towards gaining these 3 seconds, how do you go around it?
Of course, you put in the training, talking with the coach about what you can improve on, and just building up to the event mentally. It's also a very important thing to, align yourself with what you're trying to achieve and, just executing.
Last month you're in South Africa.
Yes.
At the championships. Just how would you describe the competition from arguably what's at the moment Africa's best swimming nation?
Yeah, I mean, South Africa's had a long record of being extremely good at swimming, at the Olympics, at World Champs. So having those people come to the event and competing with them, it's really motivating. Really fast times being made at the meet. So yeah, just an overall good push to make good times.
Sarah, for you, let's just take a look. I mean, you've got a whole bouquet of events you can get into. Which would you be picking as the priority event for you?
I think the priority event I would pick is 53 because I have a best time and best FINA points in that event, so I will definitely focus on this event. Recently I progressed in my 100 free. I'm looking forward to beat Kenyan national record, which I'm pretty close to it. So yeah, definitely focus on the freestyle. On this gala, definitely on the Kenyan nationals.
Well, you were at, let me just read this, the Polish Swimming Championships. It's just last month. You've done the 200 free, you've done the 100 free, 57:22 from the Polish Championships, and also from the Polski 2 Grand Prix, 25:99, and you won that. That was in April. Just give us your experiences in Poland.
Yeah, competition in Poland, of course, is much more it's higher. It's much more difficult to be good, but it's very good thing. Because I've trained there in Poland most of my life, and it's a good experience. I'm doing pretty good in Poland, so it's different than in Kenya. I think in Kenya what is privilege is that there is a joy out of it. So I really enjoy that. The people are really happy about what they are doing, whatever results they do achieve, and the joy. I think it's the happiness of just competing, being better and progressing is on a higher level. So I really enjoy the thing in Kenya, definitely.
And by the way, you're so close to the entry standards. You've got all the points and they're working for you, but dropping 0.3 of a second. 0.3. How much is that? Considering that you're going to get into this long course pool here at Kasarani over the weekend?
Yeah, like 0.03 tenths of second it's a lot, you can say, because it's like 50 meters is really quick. So for sure I'm focusing on the elements, on the technique, which is very crucial, on the breathing, on the count stroke, and just overall it's I will push for it. So I will fight for getting that time to get a new PB and beat time. And generally, yes, it's hard.
Now, Collins, now working, with the coaching staff, and she's okay. So, coach, just hold the thought. I'll be talking about how you can, getting these athletes and working with their coaches to ensure that these standards are met, and you can also tell us how you go around them. We'll be moving over to Mombasa, where the Cabinet Secretary for ICT, the Honorable William Kabogo, is launching an ICT hub. Let's move over to Mombasa.
Viongozi wote walio hapa, wamama hai, warembo hai, vijana hai. Mimi nataka nishukuru sana mbunge wenu Bwana Machele, na mimi nazungumza kama waziri wa taifa la Kenya. Sizungumzi kama mtu ya kutoka mlima, kwa sababu nimetumwa niseme maneno ya mlima na mwingine nikasema mimi si wa mlima, lakini ninzaliwa mlimani, na hapa Pwani mimi si mgeni. Mimi nilikuja Pwani nikiwa kijana mdogo, kaishi hapo Majengo, kahamia Chuda, nikapata mke kutoka Majengo Sega, kisha nikahamia Nyali, na mimi ni mkaaji wa Nyali. Kwa hivyo Pwani mimi si mgeni. Kitu nashukuru ambayo nimeona kutoka kwenu ni kwamba ninyi hamutaki kelele, mnataka maendeleo. Na hiyo ni kitu tungehimiza ienee Kenya mzima, kwa sababu maneno mengi haina manufaa. Nashukuru Mheshimiwa Moi, mwenda zake, alisema siasa mbaya, maisha mbaya. Kwa hivyo wale ambao wanataka viti, sisi tumeishi na tumeona mengi. Mimi nimekuwa mbunge kwa safari mbili, nikakuwa gavana, na sasa mimi ni waziri. Huenda hujui Mwenyezi Mungu ana mipango gani. Kwa hivyo sisi tunashukuru sana MP wa Mvita Bwana Machele kwa kutupa nafasi kama wizara kuweza kufungua hii digital hub, na tumeona kuna upungufu wa kompyuta. Nitamuuliza katibu ambaye yuko hapa na Konza tuweze kuongeza kompyuta zifike 100. Na pia nimeona mna talent ajabu hapa. Hiyo hub ikuwe pia center of talent innovations, ila watu waweze kujimudu kimaisha kupitia mitandao. Hiyo maneno ya boy child tuangalie sana, because wote watoto ni wetu. Watoto wa kivulana, watoto wa kisichana, wote ni watoto wetu, au sio? Namna hiyo. Yule bana mnazungumza juu yake, mwenye shairi hapa amesema tuende tumwambie awache ukabila, si ndio? Namna hiyo. Kenya hakuna nafasi ya ukabila. Mimi nikwambie, ukaweka mzungu hapa, kamkata mkono, damu ni nyekundu. kashika Mjaluo damu ni nyekundu, kashika Mkikuyu damu ni nyekundu. Hii maneno ya ukabila ni watu ya siasa peke yao wanatuletea. Sasa kutukumbusha vita vya mwaka 2007 itamsaidia wewe na nini? Sisi tunaomba tuwe na amani katika nchi yetu tukufu. Tunashukuru Mheshimiwa Rais kwanza kwa kushikana na bunge na kuweza kubadilisha sheria ya NCDF ili wabunge waweze kujenga hubs katika Kenya, nchi yote tukufu. Kwa hivyo tunatarajia tutapata hubs 1450 zikiwemo 47 centers of excellence, mahali tutatrain walimu wa kwenda kutrain wale wanafanya katika hub. Pia tuweke pesa ya kuweza kupatia mikopo ya kompyuta vijana na wasichana na wale ambao wote wataweza kutumia digital hubs. Kwa hivyo serikali ya Kenya imeamua lazima digital space watu waweze kufanya kazi, kujimudu kimaisha. Makofi jameni kwa serikali. Serikali inafanya kazi haifanyi. Serikali inafanya kazi haifanyi. 2027 bila shaka itakuja. Na ikija sisi ndio tulikuwa, sisi ndio tuko, na sisi ndio tutakuwepo wakati ukija. Kwa hivyo tuambie wale wako na haraka ya kutufanya sisi wa Kikuyu. Unajua hata kama mimi ni rais wa ni waziri wa jamhuri katika Kenya ama waziri ndani ya Kenya, sikusema sina mahali nimetoka. Sikuna mahali pale Kiambu nilizaliwa, kisha nikaja hapa Mvita. Kwa hivyo naweza zungumza kama Mkenya na nikazungumza kama Mkikuyu. Hiyo shida sisi hatuna. Sasa wewe nikuulize, mami nikuulize, utakuwa naibu wa rais kisha ufukuzwe? Sitabidi wewe hauko sawa. Sasa wakati umetoka ndani ndio unaanza kutuambia kule ndani nilipatiwa maneno nije ni watukani, nikapatiwa maneno ati twende tukaibe. Mbona hakusema akiwa ndani? Unajua sitaki kumtaja kwa sababu kila siku anatajwa. It seems like he's an important person and he's not. Fala tu. Mimi nataka nisiseme zaidi. Bana Machele, thank you very much indeed. You lead and others follow. Na muendelee namna hiyo, watu wa Mvita mmemshikilia huu kijana. Huyu nimemjua akiwa primary school. Na nimefika pale siku anajua yeye ndio nilizungumza naye juzi, hakuniambia. Nikaona ala, ukijana yofanya nini hapa tena? Kumbe naambiwa ndiye mbunge wenu. Makofi jameni. Kwa hivyo bila shaka tutaendelea kufanya mradi huu wa kuweza kueneza mtandao katika Kenya mzima ili fiber connectivity katika Kenya iwe 100% tukifika 2028. Ili kila mahali katika Kenya. Saa hii tumeweka mtandaoni mambo kama 22,000 services ya serikali iko katika mtandao. Tunataka kushikisha kila skuli, kila nursery, kila secondary school, kila hospitali iwe na mtandao high speed, ndio Wakenya waweze kutumia digital services mahala popote waliko. Kwa hivyo hiyo ndio kazi tumepawa na ndio kazi tunafanya na tunashukuru sana. Nataka niwachie hapo, na wale wamefuzu leo, congratulations, makofi kwenu. Mtatafuta shilingi 100,000 muweze kupata lunch. Wakati mkifuzu muwe mmepiga wali ama biriani au pilau. Unajua hao watu wametoka bara hawana fahamu. Wanasema pilau ni mchele, wanasema mchele ni mpunga. Kwa hivyo nashukuru sana. God bless you mightily, my friends. Thank you very much indeed.
So it looks like I should be catching a flight very, very quickly. There's some free biryani out in Mombasa. But that's Cabinet Secretary for ICT, the Honorable William Kafogo, was launching an ICT hub in Mvita constituency, Mombasa County. And so our team in Mombasa will be giving us a full report on that once we get back. Now, let's continue with our conversation about the National Swimming Championships. And before that, let me introduce Lucy Mora, who is our sign language interpreter. In studio with me, on my immediate left is Collins Marigiri, Secretary General, Kenya Aquatics. We also have got two swimmers within the Kenyan team and in the country, and they are going to be at the National Championships that are taking place at the Kasarani Aquatics Stadium from the 30th of May to the 1st of June. That is, he is more in they always say, meet the time, then they'll look at the rankings and availability of slots.
The most important thing we do in making sure when we are doing the selection is the criteria. You know, criteria everywhere is key. You know, to getting the right, especially for us, getting the right athletes, the right swimmers to be able to represent our country in those different events. So the criteria goes along with also the time standards and also the ranking. The ranking is also how many points, world aquatic points does an athlete have in various events. So we look at the top points, and to be able to give that athlete the opportunity, because we have a bigger pool, a very big pool to select. It's really tight. Is really tight, and if a country has not qualified, as in terms of maybe getting B or A times, so you're given universality slots. So with universality slots, it's really, really tricky, and as a country, you have to be very transparent.
Because you only get one slot per year.
Yeah, for example, you get one slot for example, the Olympics, and if it's a World Champs, we are lucky that we get two slots. So two male athletes and two female athletes. So the best way to do that, to get the right athletes, is to ensure that you have a criteria. And for the criteria now, you got to take the top athletes with the highest world aquatic points.
And so just looking back at that and the universality that was used last year for the Olympics, just give us context, because that would give, that's the most reason that you had to use.
Yeah, for the universality at the Olympics, and having looking at the rules, you know, also the Olympics, they have the rules. They got the rule book sent to all of us, and these rules actually are formulated by World Aquatics, because World Aquatics governs swimming at the Olympics. So looking at the rules they've set, is like every country that has not achieved the B or A times. For example, now by then we had not achieved a B time. We didn't have any athletes who had a B time or an A time. And that's the reason why we had to go on universality. And that's why on the universality we had to look at the ranking of different events our athletes have taken part in, and within a certain period. Because sometimes, you know, a swimmer might have achieved a very good time 2 years ago, and this year they have not. So we have set up a time to athletes, and then by then it was Ritwan and Maria. Yeah.
So there, at least you've understood about that. And looking at the moment, where would you put Ritwan?
Ritwan?
In terms, because I know he's UK based, but where would, I mean, what are prospects, for example, for Ritwan going to, you know, qualifying for Singapore at the moment?
He still has very, very good chances, opportunity to qualify for Singapore. And I know he will be around. He's around, he's in Kenya, and many other swimmers. For example, so Imara jetted back today from the US. She's actually looking forward for this event. So all of
Imara Thorpe.
Imara Thorpe, yeah, she's around, she came today. And she's looking forward to meet all our, you know, these are the same team that they were together at the World Champs. And that was amazing, a very, very good team. And they've made us proud. And all of them will be in Kasarani for that opportunity to get the slot to go to Singapore.
Okay, so the medley relay, by the way, Just give us that experience, because now that he's mentioned Imara, you just give how the setup and how you worked, together and getting into to how many? 3 national records. Sarah, you can go first.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think we had a great team, and all of us prepared to a certain stroke. Like I did freestyle, Haniel did breaststroke. We had also was Steven and Imara. Imara was swimming backstroke, so I think she's also looking forward to swim in Singapore. I think backstroke, more or less in the relay, because we don't really have the backstroker. But we had a really good team. I really enjoyed. I think all of us did really awesome job. And
Haniel.
Yeah, I think the reason we did get a record this time is because we had a really solid team, meaning we didn't have any weak spots in terms of strokes. Everyone who was specialized in a stroke got an opportunity to swim it in the relay. So it was just really strong team. Yeah.
Now, I would like you to go first and just take me through your day in training, because swimming is actually a demanding sport. If we go by the story of Michael Phelps, you might be the most expensive person in the house in terms of food.
Yeah.
How many eggs a day? Phelps used to do a dozen.
Yeah. I don't take as much as him, but roughly like 3 to 4 eggs a day.
A day?
Yeah. Yeah, but my training, I wake up at like 4:30 in the morning to start at 5. We swim for 2 hours, so that's till like 7. And then after, come back, eat breakfast, rest, and then I have another session in the afternoon, which is around 4:30 to like 6:30, another 2 hours. So in a day, I'm doing around 4 hours of swimming, and each session around 4 kilometers to 5 kilometers of swimming. Yeah.
And you say, you're taking up the breaststroke, and it's one event, unlike freestyle, just by the name it says itself, it's technical. How do you keep making sure that you get your actions right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just repetition in the pool, training, putting in the hours, making sure you're doing the right thing in the water, asking your coach for advice, and yeah, just being self-aware of what you're doing in the water.
Power training, cutting through water water, they say, is a very, very powerful force.
Yeah.
Just take us through that part of it.
Yeah, I supplement my swimming with gym, so a lot of explosive work in the gym, weight work, plyometrics.
Between plyometrics, just describe that.
Yeah, I mean, it just really focuses on doing a lot of explosive work, which you are doing in the water, especially if you're a sprinter. So yeah, it just really helps building up on that. Yeah.
Take us through, your training regime.
Okay. So because this was my last year of high school, so I had to really also focus on studies. So it was I trained like once a day, like once training session. It depends also on like how I make my schedule of the day with studying. I train once a day. I train like maybe 7 times a week swimming, plus some gym. As Haniel mentioned, of course, I have to work on my speed, endurance, and in the gym, explosive work, dynamic. I do dry land, some rapid movements, just to warm up my body as fast as possible. Because as I'm a sprinter, it's very crucial thing.
Just tell us what you do, the dry land movements, the rapid movements that you do to warm up.
Like some jumps, some squats, dynamic squats. Just I try to warm up my body as fast as possible to get ready for the work done in the water.
And this is interesting now, knowing that the sport has changed a lot. I mean, we are seeing from Hungary, you could see that world records are broken.
Yes.
Swimming is a very interesting sport. Well, over a week, you can have one event and it has 4 world records broken. How much are you putting the modern methods, reviewing your work, video, and also this putting, video reviews and the science to ensure that you keep improving? Sarah, you can go first.
Yeah, I think quality is more important than quantity. That's what I focus on. I focus on technique. I focus on the details, which are very crucial in sprints, especially because if you mess up one thing, it can affect your event. Like you can add like 0.3 seconds or half a second, which is very important in sprints, especially. So I focus on visualization of my race or just preparation of my event, how I swim. I train for the event, so I specify my training for certain events I'm gonna do. I also like swimming different strokes, not only freestyle, so I want to like more complex, to make my swimming more complex and just diverse, not only focusing on one. So yeah.
Yeah, you also do the butterfly.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm also doing on breaststroke.
And
So I like
breaststroke.
to challenge myself from other perspectives, different movements, because I think swimming, different strokes, there are like different movements create one, because swimming is very complex and it's great to do different movements in swimming.
And let me just come to you, the video review and the science, because especially for you as a backstroke swimmer.
Oh, breaststroke.
Yeah.
Breaststroke swimmer. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when it gets, you know, it's a very technical thing, and also if you've got to do the 100, how you do the turn.
Yeah, so swimming is like ever-evolving sport, so you're always comparing what you're doing compared to the world athletes, you know, internationally. So there's always video reviews throughout the year to make sure that your technique is good in the water. And coming to the turn for the breaststroke, it's different from turns for like the freestyle and back. You're not doing a tumble turn, it's a touch and turn. Yeah.
Yes. How are you seeing, you know, the full use of technology where available, especially video, and those and making sure that you don't, you know, get a judge check, or you don't lose time at that. What are some of the key improvements that you've seen? You know, some may say they look marginal, but they're huge in this sport.
Yeah. So right now, swimming is more focusing on like the underwaters. We had said before, like in short course. The reason that it is faster is mainly because you have more underwater. So a lot of the work that's being done under the water is very crucial now in swimming. So having videos of swimming underwater is very important. So you can focus on that, on the little bits and pieces that can make your swimming improve drastically.
And Collins, by the way, Kasarani, maybe for the viewer, they need to know that it's actually a see-through.
Oh yes.
You could actually just describe it. You know what stories Ajaba is, eh? You know, tales, you know, made up tales. But Kasarani is actually a see-through. Collins, you could say.
Yeah, we are very lucky actually to have such a facility. Kasarani has you can actually, as a swimmer, you can see the underwater activity. Yeah, but now the only thing we need to invest in maybe as a federation, as maybe the stadia, is now having the cameras. If with the underwater cameras, we'll be able to do all the video analysis. We were very privileged, like the last time we were in Budapest 2016, and there is World Aquatics gives you an opportunity to do analysis. There was video analysis. Like Hanil said and Sarah here, swimming underwater, you're faster than on the water surface. So if you can perfect your underwater as a swimmer, actually gives you an edge over any other swimmer. So with the video analysis that we had last time, I think we shared the video with them, and it took some time. It is an expensive venture, and which as a federation, we are working on that to ensure that we're investing in those cameras and the facility and the software. Because it has a software, there's some software that you use to be able to analyze and give reports to every swimmer. So when they look at the reports, they know the angle of the entry point, the body position. So those are the very, very nitty-gritty stuff that changes the dynamics in your swimming. Either improve your stroke, improve on the time, or slow you down. So with all that analysis, they helps them to look into it, and now they go back with the coaches look at the report, and they're able now to work on those specific areas.
Very well. And Collins, coming to a closer, there's something you're hiding there.
Oh, yeah.
So, Kenya won the overall title, and this was at the Arusha International Masters Swimming Championships. So, tell us about this.
Well, this trophy brings a lot of joy to the master swimming in this country, and it's a program that, as a national federation, we've been working on for the last. This is the second year. We had our Masters National Championship, which was in February, the month of February, in Kasarani. That was a long course, and also it was a qualifier for the for Masters World Championship in Singapore. And after that, for them to keep on, keep on moving, keep on getting ready for the event in Singapore, we went to Arusha, Tanzania, which Tanzania was hosting their first Masters Championship. And after taking part in our championship last year, they felt like it's something that we need to do it in our region. Yeah, in our region we have around 11 countries, and Arusha, Tanzania was the first country now to say, okay, after Kenya we're going to host this event. And we went with a team of around 78 athletes from the age of 25 to our oldest was around 72. And this team did a wonderful job and took the overall position, and with a number of, I think we had around 108 medals, yeah, which 68 were gold medals, and that was an exemplary performance and outstanding performance. And so far, right now, Kenya is the Masters champions.
Okay. Yep. Kweli viumbe walishinda kule kwa jirani. That is what you'd say in Swahili. Collins knows. And congratulations to that team. Closing word from you, Haniel and Sarah, for the weekend.
Oh, yeah, it's a really exciting event, having all these people from all these other countries coming in. It being a World Aquatic Sanction event, it's going to be really exciting, good competition, and just overall good for the sport.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm just happy to be there and compete and have fun with all the athletes and just do my best and fight for these times for Singapore.
All right. All right. So there you've had it from Sarah Moses. She is a part of the national swimming team, and also from Haniel Kudwoli. And also we've got Collins Amarigiri, who's the Secretary General of Kenya Aquatics, the National Swimming Championships. Will be at the Kasarani Stadium, 30th of May to the 1st of June. Well, thank you for being with us throughout this session of Sports Tech. And now, let's tell you the story of an ace, a steeplechase great in this country, Paul Kipsiele Koech, specialized in the 3,000 meters steeplechase. That's the one that's coming up next. My name is Daniel Wahome, our sign language interpreter. This hour has been Lucy Moura.
For the final of the steeplechase, 15 competitors will be running in this event, and out of them we have 4 Africans. We just saw the world and Olympic record a while ago, and the runners are Luis Miguel Martin from Spain, Musa Obaid Amar from Qatar. From the Netherlands we have Simon Veromin. From France, Abdallah Tahir. From Morocco, we have Ali Ezaini, one of Africa's flag bearers. Eliso Martin from Spain. Another African flag bearer from Kenya is Ezekiel Kemboy. From Spain is David Antonio Jimenez. Another Kenyan is Kipsele Paul Koech.
That means an unbeaten run stretching back to 84, boycott in 80. This was the start of the race. The Kenyans working together as a team.
Achievement yenye nimeachieve, the main bronze Olympic in 2004 Athens, tukiwa na Ezekiel Kemboy na Bremin Kipruto. na nimeweza tena kukimbia muda zaidi yenye ilikuwa namba 4 bora duniani, na nimeweza tena kukimbia Diamond League mara 3 nikishinda hiyo. Kwa jumla mimi nilikimbia kutoka 2001 mpaka 2022, karibu miaka 22 yenye niliweza kukimbia zaidi.
Born in November 10th, 1981 in Sotik, Paul Kipsiele Koech is among the finest 3,000 meter steeplechase athletes Kenya has ever produced.
This stage, the pack still together, but a relentless pace from Koech in front, from Kipruto, then Kemboi.
Later in July 2001, he competed in his first 3,000 meter steeplechase race at the Vasteras Games Folksam GP, still in Sweden, where he clocked 7 minutes, 53.52 seconds to finish 4th, and later attempted his first 1,500 meters race in August 2001 in Leverkusen Bayer meeting, Germany, finishing 6th in 3 minutes, 38.87 seconds. His first breakthrough 3,000 meters race was on 31st August 2001 at the Berlin ISAF, in which he claimed the 6th position, clocking 3 minutes, 15.92 seconds.
Yenye tunaweza sema ni kuwa discipline kwa ile kitu yenye fanya kwa mbio yako. Alafu unaona sasa hivi vijana wanakimbilia sana road race yenye ambayo haistahili mtu mwenye hajafika ile umri kama 25, 28 ya kuweza kukimbia road races, sababu ukikimbia road race ukiwa mjanga misisi inaanza kuisha. So naimisa vijana wasione sana pesa iko mingi kwa marathon ama road race. At least wafanye kwanza wamalize track and then graduate aende marathon.
Kipsiele still remains the best Diamond League in 3,000 meter steeplechase specialist athlete in Kenya to date, winning a record of 16 races, his first breakthrough win being in 2004 at the Roma Golden Gala, posting 7 minutes, 59.65 seconds, and his last win being in 2015 at the Weltklasse meet in Zurich, Switzerland. In 2004, Kipsiele announced himself as a man to beat in 3,000 meter steeplechase when he won a bronze medal at the Olympic Games in Athens, Greece, and improved it after finishing second at the All-African Games in Abuja, Nigeria.
Mpaka leo sioni kuna kitu niliwacha, sababu mimi nilienda championships mingi nikapata medali kama hiyo Athens, nikaenda Mauritius nikapata medali, alafu nikakimbia tena muda bora, nikakimbia Diamond League nikashinda mara 3. Wakati wetu wa mbio za IAAF tena niliweza kushinda mara 7. So sioni kusema kuna kitu niliwacha, hasa tu na kwangu naimisa vijana wakuja wakimbia kama sisi, na bado tuko kwa kupea mawaida.
Kipsiele Koech could dominate all Golden Gala, World Athletics Finals and Diamond Leagues, but found it hard in major world championships, finishing 7th overall in his first assignment at the Helsinki Championships in 2005, before finishing 4th at the Berlin World Athletics Championships in 2009.
Championship inakuwa changamoto sana, sababu inafaa utumie mbinu zaidi, na hasa steeplechase haikuwa rahisi siku hiyo, lakini tukienda Diamond League huwa nilikuwa na perform mzuri sana.
Since hanging up his spikes from the track in 2015, Kipsiele has tried road running before venturing into coaching young athletes in his camp in Sotik, besides focusing on dairy farming.
Sasa mimi niko na dairy, ng'ombe ya maziwa, na nimeweza ku-add value kwa hiyo maziwa. Sasa niko na kampuni yangu yenye natoa maziwa ya Mursik, Kaso Mursik, traditional milk. Yeah.
So ndio unafanya?
Hii ndio nafanya sasa hii. Ng'ombe niko na zaidi ya 50. Sotik. Sotik, Bomet County.
So which means bado pia umecreate employment kwa watu ambao wanakusaidia hapo.
Ya kama ile kampuni yangu ya kutengeneza mala kaso musik, niko na vijana wenye nimewaajiri na coach vijana, nafunza vijana huko nyumbani, kwa niko na kambi huko nyumbani, so na train vijana. Na sai kazi yangu nimeenda kwa ukulima nafanya sahi, lakini kwa mbio bado tunakuja kuhimiza wanariadha wachanga wakuje wakimbie kama sisi. Niko na vijana wenye wanakimbia mbio yote kutoka steeplechase mpaka marathon wenye wanakimbia.
Kipsiele believes Kenya can regain its steeplechase dominance in both the Olympics and World Championships with proper structures in place from the federation to identify and nurture talents.
Naona future iko sababu kuna vijana wenye wanakuja wanaweza rudisha hiyo ile enzi kama ile enzi zetu, ila tu wapate ile tactics ya kukimbia hiyo steeplechase. Ni vile sasa vile training naenda ile wakati zetu vile tulikuwa na train sio kama sai, so inabidi wakuwe na hiyo nini ya sai vile wana train vile kama sai. Vijana tulikuwa naona hawafanyi gym, so sai gym ndio inawezesha at least mtu anaweza kimbia, so afanye ile training ya kisasa.
However, he calls on athletes to balance prominence, money and professional running in order to stay longer in their running careers.
Tofauti sana ni haina tofauti sana, but ukiona concentration yenye nafaa uweke huko, sio vile unabika race sabari ya kwanza unaenda kuna pacemakers wana set, na kwa championship tunaonanga wenye wanaenda unaweza stukia hata mtu mwenye hakuwa mzuri kwa Diamond anaenda kukushinda. Sasa niko na kijana yangu mwenye najaribu kufunza so yeye kwa shule na anakimbia. Anakimbia bado sijafunza yeye kimbia steeplechase, lakini nataka akimbie steeplechase.
Anaitwa nani?
Anaitwa Moses Kipto.
Kipsiele could not leave before cautioning young athletes against engaging in doping, which has ruined many upcoming talents.
Wakuwe na nidhamu kwa ile chenye wanafanya, na wakuwe na patience kwa ile mazoezi yenye anafanya, wasienda haraka sababu kuna hizi madawa yenye imekuja sasa hivi, mtu anakuja anataka apate pesa kwa haraka, anaenda kula madawa.
The YMCA has been here for ages, and that is what it has been doing since I don't even know when, because it has been there for a long time, and they have been transforming young people through sports. And today we were joined by the Kenya Para-badminton Federation players who have been soaring high for the country, and will be joined by the president very soon to talk about her life and how she's transforming the sport for the para-badminton players, because the sport is a variant of badminton and it has various disabilities. We'll find out from her, because she has broken the barriers in para-badminton and also for women in leadership positions.
It has come a time that now women have to come up and show what they have, and I'm so happy to be one of one of the women who are empowered, and having a position to be a president of Para-badminton. I'm humbled and I'm privileged to serve. And I've seen the good achievement, and especially even for the players. For the many times I've seen women being the top. So I'm very happy to be one of them. In the first achievement that I managed was 202. I managed to go to Commonwealth Games in Manchester as a swimmer. So I'm an international swimmer. I managed to swim. I had a medal, bronze medal in swimming, class S9. That is 2002, 2003. I continued until 2010. I now started to coach. And at the same time, I was coaching swimming. So I'm still coaching swimming until now. And I've also been an athlete in table tennis, class 2, wheelchair 2. And I've managed to also to play up to international level. I think 2 Commonwealth Games. I've not been able to get a medal, but at least position 4, something like that. And so that is the achievement in table tennis.
She was a founder member of wheelchair basketball before they graced their maiden Commonwealth Games in Birmingham.
I also played basketball. I was among the founders of women wheelchair basket founders. I was among them. So I managed also to get a class, and I played in South Africa. Those are the games that I've been able to play. And then I also created interest in para-badminton when I started there. I've not been an athlete as much in para-badminton, but I decided to take a part in the leadership because, again, when we started, there was not leadership, and I decided to go and do the registration and all that, and that's how I became the president para-badminton. And so far, we are doing well. Yes.
Jennifer was urged by her friend to take a shot at leadership position when para-badminton went into the polls to elect new officials. And voila, she got the seat.
I think I was also born a leader because I've been leading in other associations. And it came a time that I felt that now I can take a position and start leading the federation. So it started somewhere. I started as an athlete. Yes.
She has made remarkable strides since becoming the president of Kenya Para-badminton Federation to take the Kenyan team to various championships with outstanding results too.
Actually, inanitia nguvu, seeing that we have the very high spirit and everyone is really looking forward to the achievement. And during the training, as you can see today, we train on a Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays. But mostly train on Monday and Fridays. But like when we are almost having a game, we also add another one day. So we train on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And this has made me to be motivated on looking funds on how we are going to make sure that their energy and their effort is not wasted. And that's how we also managed to take the team to Egypt. There's a time we went to Dubai, they have been to Uganda.
And she does all these amidst financial constraints, which calls for self-sponsorship. Call it sacrifices if you can.
We have been having a lot of challenges. One, because para-badminton was joined with able-bodied Kenya badminton. And then badminton had issues and they were banned. So there's some years we have been training and we're not being able to go out because of our entries have to be done by Kenya badminton. The accessibility was not easy for us. And so we have wasted some time for quite a long time. Until last year, when NOC was able to do the entry for us to go to Uganda. And then by that one, we didn't have funding. So our athletes sponsored themselves to go. So that at least some of them can be also classified and at least participate and to open the door. So that has been a challenge that we trained and we are not able to go. But for now, at least now working together with Paralympic and NOC, at least we're able to do the entries. So for quite a long time, we have like being dormant as much as the training has been on. But you know, when you train and you're not sure you're going somewhere, again, morale inakuwa chini kiasi. But for now, now that we are very sure and we are seeing the light of the tunnel, I believe we are going to achieve more. So far we have not achieved so much because of that challenges, but at least we managed to go to those, I think, 4 times now. Yeah, including the Uganda one that some of the ladies, and I'm happy that the ladies are more stronger even than men. when it comes to even achievement, to see like even with Uganda, we had to look for somebody to sponsor themselves. Only women were able to sponsor themselves. And then this time we went the team to Egypt. Only women managed to come with medals. But again, not that men are not doing enough. They are still working on it. And we want to believe all of us together, we are going to get somewhere.
They have now been merged with the Kenya Badminton Federation, where they hope to get more opportunities to excel.
International body merged. So we have to work with Kenya Badminton. And they're in the process. And they are actually accommodating us very well so far, because we could not have made it to Egypt only because we worked together. And as soon as they're going to maybe to do the election, after that we'll be able to work under them, we'll be able to do our entries, we fundraise together, hoping and believing that the way we have started, we are going to accommodate us as persons with disability. And our aim is, as much as we are merging, we are coming in their federation, they can also give us a position so they can be also in the leadership, at least representing a para-badminton. So by the time they are doing the election, we're expecting it also be part of the elected committee, one of them, at least 2 or 1. For us, for our issues to be heard, so that it cannot be only that they are just doing for us, that we can do it together and we feel part of it.
In the meantime, they are struggling in terms of facilities, equipments, participating fees, logistics, you name it. Can they call anyone who can assist to come out and do so? They need a facilitation because they have to have the right equipment so that they can play better against their opponents. Even the grounds they're using at YMCA is the wrong one. When you slip, you fall. And you can imagine somebody with their disability having a fall. It can actually lead to more injuries and more damage.
The challenges that we're also having during the training, as we can see, the wheelchairs, the wheelchair users, or the good rackets, the good shuttles. As you know, you're using the green ones. Those are just for the training, of which you need to use the white one with the feather. Those are the international ones. But you see, they are very expensive. So for us, it has been a challenge. But the effort and the spirit is very high. The both of athletes and the officials.
Jennifer Kamande is one of the few women heading sports federations in Kenya and calls upon others to come out of their shadows and take the bull by its horns, for you never know until you try.
Persons with disability out there, and especially the young ones, it is possible. Just believe in yourself and don't allow disability to limit you. Don't feel like you don't deserve it or you're not worth it. The only thing is for you to come out. Don't isolate yourself. Come out, find out what you can do. Because I believe that everybody has something to do. In Paralympic sport, there are so many different sports. If you cannot do this one, you can do the other one. We have sitting volleyball, we have table tennis, we have rugby, we have swimming, we have so many of them. You can come and join any of them. I will tell women that we have ability in us. And the first one is God-given. There is a power that women has been given by God. And when you use it, it makes us move far. Because if you lead, a woman who lead is like you're leading the whole family or the whole society. So women, we are able to take the leadership. We are able to train hard and achieve. So those who are outside, they are not even training. It's good for them to come and train, join the sports, just identify what you can do. And then after that, train hard until you achieve. So that when you become a leader, you'll be knowing on how to lead. And then you'll be able to know when the athlete says, I'm suffering from the ground, you know what is happening. At least we're able to train. Mimi nikisema mchezaji anaumia kwa kiwanja, ninaelewa because I have been there. So if you start from there, it is the best one. So for these other women who are feeling that now they are almost retiring because of the age, it's good to take courage and be strong. Just believe that I can do it. And you just start from maybe from a position when there's a committee. Try to lead. I always tell people that leadership, you don't have to start from top. You start even from your family. The voice that you and the leadership you give from your family. Then the society, then the neighbor. It comes around and you become a leader. Whether you're in the Muslim, the churches or wherever, you make sure you become a leader. You have to be heard, not only to be seen. Then don't only be heard, you just have to be there, be available, because you are able to do it. Availability and also commitment. Don't take a position that you'll not be able to do. So take a position that I will be able to work and do it, and I will be available. That is the only way. So we can do it.
Well, what more can I add but say salute to Jennifer Kamande and so many other women breaking the ceiling and barriers in sports. Happy International Women's Day.
Leo hapa hivi tuko na shughuli moja